After understanding acid dissociation constant and base dissociation constant for weak acids and weak bases respectively, the next thing is we have to make, that is Ostwald's dilution law. Now Ostwald's dilution law is basically what? The Arrhenius concepts of acids and bases was expressed quantitatively by Ostwald in the form of a dilution law which is known as Ostwald's dilution law. Now this Ostwald's dilution law we will be applying for weak acids as well as for weak bases. Let us consider first for weak acids. For weak acid, consider an equilibrium of a weak acid HA that exists in a solution partly as undissociated species HA and partly H plus ions and A minus ions. So let us consider this equilibrium which can be represented as HA aqueous giving us H plus ions plus A minus ion. To this given reaction, if we apply our acid dissociation constant as we have discussed, the formula can be Ka is equals to concentration of H plus into concentration of A minus upon concentration of HA. Okay. Now further for the derivation we have to consider some points. What are they? Let 1 mole of acid HA initially present in a volume V dm cube of solution. So we are considering our HA to be 1 mole in a volume V dm cube. At equilibrium, the fraction dissociated would be alpha. So if we consider alpha has been dissociated, where what is alpha is nothing but degree of dissociation of the acid as we have discussed it in last lecture. So the initial moles minus the number of moles dissociated, 1 minus alpha, will be a fraction of an acid that remains undissociated. Because original was 1, of that alpha got dissociated. So if we take a subtraction of the two, we will get the fraction of an acid that remains undissociated. Make sure whole of this has to be explained before going with the further derivation part. So the reaction I rewrite again, HA giving us H plus ions plus A minus ion. The amount present at equilibrium in terms of mole, it will be 1 minus alpha undissociated part, alpha which has been formed, similarly alpha which has been formed. If I have to write down in terms of concentration, then it will be moles upon volume. Volume is nothing but V. So the given concentration at equilibrium will be 1 minus alpha upon V and alpha upon V. So at equilibrium, what will be the concentration of HA? That is nothing but 1 minus alpha upon V, mole per dm cube. Similarly, the concentration of H plus ion, which is also equal to concentration of A minus ion, that will be alpha upon V, mole per dm cube. If we substitute this concentration values in our Ka formula, so we will get Ka is equals to alpha by V into alpha by V upon 1 minus alpha by V, that is concentration of H plus into concentration of A minus upon concentration of HA. So if we do the calculation, what will be left back with? Alpha square upon 1 minus alpha into V. Let us consider this as our equation 2. Now in this, if I consider C as the initial concentration of an acid, which is of course mole per dm cube, and V is nothing but our volume, then C is equals to 1 by V, that is 1 mole in V dm cube of volume. So if I substitute 1 by V as C in this given equation, then we will get it as, so our 1 by V will be replaced by C. So our equation will become Ka equals to alpha square into C upon 1 minus alpha. Let us take this as equation 3. Now in our equation 3, for our weak acids HA, alpha is very small, that is its degree of dissociation is very small. Further, 1 minus alpha will be further small. So we can approximately take 1 minus alpha as 1. So if we rewrite our equation 2 and 3, 1 minus alpha as 1, then our equation 2 will become Ka is equals to alpha square upon V, or alpha is equals to square root of Ka into V. Similarly, our equation 3 will become Ka is equals to alpha square into C, or alpha is equals to square root of Ka upon C. So this will be the equations where Ostwald's dilution law has given us a relationship between acid dissociation constant and volume, or acid dissociation constant and concentration. So if we check the equations properly, what relation we understand is either with acid dissociation or with degree of dissociation. So the degree of dissociation of a weak acid is directly proportional to square root of its volume, or it is inversely proportional to square root of its concentration containing 1 mole of weak acid. So this is what we come to know about a relation between degree of dissociation and volume, or degree of dissociation and concentration. Once again I repeat, for the weak acid, degree of dissociation is directly proportional to square root of its volume, or it is inversely proportional to square root of its concentration, considering that the solution contains 1 mole of weak acid. In a similar way, we can do Ostwald dilution law for weak base also. We have to consider our weak base as BOH, which will dissociate to give you B plus and OH minus ion. Rest of the things will be same, just the changes. In place of HA we have to write down BOH, and according to that the concentration formula, in place of Ka it will be Kb, and if we keep on substituting in the same fashion, the end will be Kb is equals to alpha square upon V, or alpha is equals to square root of Kb into V. Similarly, Kb is equals to alpha square into C, or alpha is equals to square root of Kb upon C. So in this also we could find out that the degree of dissociation of a weak base is directly proportional to square root of its volume, or it is inversely proportional to square root of its concentration, considering the solution has 1 mole of weak base. So the question can come is to derive Ostwald's dilution law for weak acid or weak base, and accordingly we have to make the changes. For weak acid it will be HA and Ka. For weak base it will be BOH and Kb. So that is a very important change which we need to remember. Let us see some numericals based on acid dissociation constant and base dissociation constant. So for that I will be taking a reference of our textbook, page number 61. Question number 2, sub-question 4. Question says, dissociation constant of acetic acid is 1.8 into 10 raised to the power minus 5. Calculate percentage dissociation of acetic acid in 0.01 molar solution. Means from the question we understand that they have given Ka, that is acid dissociation constant, as 1.8 into 10 raised to the power minus 5. They have mentioned the concentration as 0.01 molar. And they have asked us to find out percentage dissociation, that is percentage alpha. The formula for percentage alpha we have square root of Ka upon C into 100, as it is in the form of percentage. So simply the solution where we have to substitute the value of Ka and C. So on substitution our Ka value as 1.8 into 10 raised to the power minus 5 and C as 0.01. Taking its square root directly from our log table, we get it as 0.0424 into 100, that is nothing but 4.24%. So our percent dissociation of acetic acid is nothing but 4.24%. A simple question which will count you 2 marks in a very easy manner. Let us consider the second question. For that I am going to take a reference of textbook, page number 62, question number 3, sub-question 6. The question says, acetic acid is 5% ionized in its decimolar solution. Calculate the dissociation constant of acid. In this, the given statement, acetic acid is 5% ionized in its decimolar solution. We come to know that its percentage alpha value is nothing but 5. So if I want to find out alpha, it will be 0.05, and decimolar they have said. Decimolar is nothing but 1 by 10. So our concentration will be 0.1 molar. They have asked us to find out dissociation constant of acid, means Ka. So this time the formula will be Ka equals to alpha square into C. So in the solution, simply we substitute our alpha value and multiply with our concentration. So we get our acid dissociation constant value as 2.5 into 10 raised to the power minus 4. Again, a very simple calculation, a very simple formula. So this is what type of numericals can come based on our acid dissociation constant or base dissociation constant, and the sum will be for 2 marks. So we make sure that you understand the formula properly and don't get confused between what are the terms. Ka stands for acid dissociation constant, alpha stands for degree of dissociation, and C stands for concentration. Okay, so this term should be very clear. So then simple calculation is for the substitution of the numerical. After doing the numericals, the next part we have to see, that is auto-ionization of water. Now, why we are precisely taking water? Because pure water, as we know, it's a bad conductor of electricity because it ionizes to a very small extent. Okay, so the ionization equilibrium of water is represented as H2O liquid plus H2O liquid, where it will dissociate in an equilibrium stage to give you hydronium ion plus hydroxide ion, that is H3O plus OH minus. Equilibrium constant for this given equilibrium reaction, we write it as K for water. Then it will be simply following the formula. So the K will be equal to ratio of concentration of hydronium ion into concentration of hydroxide ion upon concentration of water square. Why square? Because we are taking 2 moles of water in this, right? Now, in this given part, if I rearrange it, I can get K into concentration of water square is equals to concentration of H3O plus into concentration of OH minus. Now, in this given equilibrium, a majority of water molecules are undissociated. So consequently, the concentration of water, that is concentration of H2O, can be treated as constant. So if I take concentration of water as a constant K dash, then this given equation can be written as, so by making the changes, we can get K into K dash is equals to concentration of hydronium ion into concentration of OH minus ion. Now, K into K dash can be written as Kw, where Kw is called ionic product of water. So we get Kw is equals to concentration of hydronium ion into concentration of hydroxide ion. So the ionic product of water can be defined as product of molar concentrations of hydronium ions and hydroxyl ions at equilibrium in pure water at a given temperature. This is the very important point, that the concentrations are measured at a given temperature, because if the temperature changes, the equilibrium will also change, because the concentration of hydronium ion and the concentration of hydroxyl ion will change. So definitely the Kw value will also undergo a change. So a very important point in the definition, that these concentrations are mentioned at a given temperature or at the given temperature. Now we know that a pure water is a neutral solution. So the concentration of H plus ion is equal to concentration of OH minus ion. At 298 Kelvin, that is nothing but our room temperature, 25 degrees Celsius, we find that the concentration of H plus ion is equal to concentration of OH minus ion, which is equal to 1.0 into 10 raised to the power minus 7 mole per liter. So if we substitute this value in our Kw equation, so Kw will be 1 into 10 raised to the power minus 7 into 1 into 10 raised to the power minus 7, which comes to 1 into 10 raised to the power minus 14. So this will be our value for ionic product of water, but at 298 Kelvin. As the temperature changes, our Kw value will also change. So it's very important that the ionic product of water value 1 into 10 raised to the power minus 14 is strictly only and only at 298 Kelvin. So that is what we have done for today's class. In today's lecture, I introduced you with classification of acids and bases as weak acids and weak bases, strong acids and strong bases. After its classification, we did what is its acid dissociation constant and what is base dissociation constant. Then we applied Ostwald's dilution law for both weak acids and weak bases. We did numericals based on that. After that, we did auto ionization of water and calculated the value of Kw at 298 Kelvin. That is what we have done for today's class. Thank you very much.